are back. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with the always lovely and talented Andrea Kay, the always incredible Urban Miaris, and we have a very, very special segment for everybody. Yay. Let's start out by introducing our weekly business correspondent here, Miss Eve Nasby from Amerit Solutions.
Yay. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Andrea.
So, anyway, what is going on in the Amerit world these days?
Oh, my goodness. We have just signed a contract with a company up in L.A. that wants to hire veterans.
Yay!
So, if you're a veteran and you're looking for work, call me, 619-244-3000.
Great.
Can you tell us the name yet? Or
the company is called, the organization's Plaza de la Reina, and they're looking for a facilities engineer. So if you have experience, you need to call me. That number again is 619-244-3000. We have another contract coming up in the Pacific Northwest. So if you are transitioning out of the military in San Diego within the next few months and you want to travel back up, perhaps it's home up in the Oregon, Seattle, Washington area, call me, and we've got some positions up there, 30 of them.
Wow.
For veterans, I know.
Okay, so that brings up a good point. We talk about Amerit and we talk about hiring a veteran, but this isn't about hiring a veteran in San Diego, okay? This is...
got you.
Love these faces.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway,
cue the blush.
The paparazzi is here in studio. So
yes, I know. We're getting all the flash photography, so we'll be all over Facebook. I think eventually I'll be able to spell Facebook.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Amerit Solutions is not about hiring veterans in San Diego. It's about hiring veterans anywhere.
That's
Am
right.
I correct?
Absolutely. Nationally, we've got a contract with a small company out on the East Coast called Hershey's.
Oh, just a teeny organization.
Just a little chocolatey, delicious
I've been there. They have a marvelous amusement park for kids. Okay?
They do.
Oh, yes.
I grew up out there.
Yes, so did I. We were neighbors, remember?
We were neighbors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, with the show going nationwide, people listening in, if you know or if your business is moving, give a call. Give Eve a call. Mm-hmm. It's sometimes even better to hire veterans in the community you're moving your business to. Mm-hmm. Than it is to try to transfer them over.
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, Eve, we have the grand privilege today of why don't you introduce our guest for us?
Okay.
I'll let you do it.
I would love to introduce to you and all of our listeners Mr. Gary Herbold. He is the founder of Amerit Consulting, and if I may, he was twice awarded the Purple Heart for his bravery in Vietnam.
Wow.
He is the owner and founder of the largest service-disabled veteran-owned business in America. His organization is Amerit Consulting, and through that organization, we do staffing. And the other organization that he has is called Amerit Fleet. And Fleet manages and services companies' fleet, like AT&T has 89,000 vehicles that we service, and the list goes on of all the companies that we help. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Gary Herbold.
Wow.
Great. Welcome, Gary.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me here.
I could not have done that honor. I would have done it a great disservice, so we can thank you for a wonderful introduction.
We've been together for quite a while.
So, hey, watch out. You're going to get Urban really jealous.
No. Easy over there, Turbo.
So,
it's a true honor to have
It is an honor to have you here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, two great, and I'll say it this time because it's usually Andrea doing this, but, thank you guys for your service. You've done amazing things for our country, and you continue to do amazing things for our country. Gary, why don't you start out, tell us a little bit about your story. I'd love to hear it.
My story.
Your story.
Okay, I'll just start from the time I was...
So, Eve, I want you to make note of something. I am not the only one that blushes, okay?
Well, in the military, I started in 1965, and I signed up for 4 years, so I was in until 69. Actually, I was not aware of where it was they were going to send me. I just signed up for the Navy. Ended up in different places, such as Adak, Alaska, where I wanted to become associated with the hospital corps up there. So I started working in the hospital up there in Adak, Alaska, if you can believe it or not. And went from there down to Balboa here in San Diego after boot camp here, and then came back again for medical training here. So my roots are fairly deep. I'm well aware of the San Diego area, so I'm very familiar with that. After after going through medical school, I went over to Guam and spent time in Guam. After that, I got my orders to be associated and attached to the 326th Marine Corps out of Pendleton here, and went to Vietnam. It was then that I was injured. The first time was, I don't know if I want to talk about that, but
it's up to you.
Strictly up to you.
But I like to tell the part about when I was injured in my second wound, where my legs were blown apart, and came back and had surgery and so forth in Oakland Hospital. But a couple of years later, I met my wife, and when I started the business, she always told me that this was my inspiration, was that she told me I had a leg up on the competition. She's great.
Might as well have a sense of humor about it, right?
She's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, you know what? My hat's off to you, because what I love to hear, and your story and Urban's story are very similar in the context that the disability, the tragedy that could have changed everything in a negative way was turned into a positive way. Urban has done amazing things, which we talk about all the time.
Agreed.
Gary, the fact that you were able to come back off of a devastating injury and be able to set up a business and care about a business and do things for others, which are all about the disabled veteran community. My hat's off to you.
Oh, thank you.
Well, Barry, just like you and Gary, when you go into service, just because you get out of the military, regardless of how you get out, your service doesn't end. And we're still serving. Yeah, all three of us are.
That's true, but there's one factor that people don't realize, because we're so far removed from the Vietnam War, is when you guys came out of the service. I mean, I went in, I got out of the service in 1978. Okay, you guys got out in the 60s. Okay, when you came out of the service, there was, or when I came out of the service, I should say, there was not this discontent, this anger, there was nothing focused at me. I was just another guy. Okay, when you came out, you were really, really looked down on, and to overcome that kind of thing is, people don't realize that is a special event. Okay, there are not that many disabled veterans out there. There are not that many veterans, period, that came out of the Vietnam War that are able to accomplish the things you guys have. So, anyway, listen, we will not belabor the point. Let's talk a little bit about Amerit Solutions. What drove you to start that, and tell me more about it.
I didn't know about the program, the DVB program, until my brother brought it to my attention. And at that time, I read the information. I made the decision at that point to go ahead and start a staffing program. My brother and myself and 3 or 4 other folks that were interested in working in the business came with me. I needed to have somebody that understood the DVB program, understood how to run a business, how to start and run the business. And we were together probably for 6 months or so, and they started to fall away. They didn't understand it. They needed to have money right away. When you start a business, you go with almost no income for at least a year and a half to 2 years. And that was the case in this situation. I was probably 2 to 2.25, maybe 2.5 years in before I actually was earning money that I could live on. Up until that time, it was my wife who was earning the money in the household and brought the money home to pay the bills. That's why I'm here today. And
behind every good man, right?
True.
So let's throw some kudos out to your wife. What's your wife's name?
I didn't tell you her name.
You didn't tell me her name.
Shame on me. Her name is Kathy.
Kathy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Kathy, we want to thank you for the great service you've done along with Gary. So let's not let that go unattended. So
I want to say also that after coming back from Vietnam, there was a short period of time, probably a couple of years, that I didn't know it at the time. They didn't call it PTSD at that time,
right.
but it was there, and probably Urban experienced this as well. I was never diagnosed with it, but when I look back, I had that for a short while, and my wife was, Kathy, she was subject to that, and so it's something that you share with your significant other as well, and so you both go through that phase where you need to get away from and try to become as regular, I'll say, not normal, but regular and normal as possible, so you can move on with work. And I tried to maintain the positive attitude that would help me along, in my business. And this smile you see on my face, those on the radio can't see it, but that smile has been there from the very day that I was wounded, because I was so happy to get out of there.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. You're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ, streaming live at AM1170theanswer.com. Give us a tweet at CloseUpSD. Email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com, or find our page on Facebook. Want to hear from you? I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with Andrea Kay, Urban Miyares, Eve Nasby, and Gary Herbold. So what was the impetus to, you know what, I was going to say what was the impetus to start a staffing company, but let me go back and ask you differently. How many veterans have you helped gain employment over the years?
I would say in the neighborhood of probably 400. Right now we maintain a 14% higher rate of veteran hires. And that's in the office, and that's outside of the office on the contracts. As we write the contracts, we try to hire as many as we can. And on our websites, you'll always see where, if you are a veteran, mention that you are. I want to know about that. And those resumes go to the top of the pile, so they get the first look.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so
wonderful.
Many times we have as many as 100 to 200 applications for a couple of jobs that are going on, and I want to see those veterans, at the top of the pile, so they get first look.
Yeah, interesting. What do you see happens in the economy when we have a recession and there's jobs are getting more scarce? Does that do anything to affect, whether people are hiring veterans or not, or does it just go into the mix of hiring or not hiring?
I've seen more certifications given out by the state of California and the federal government since the turn down of veterans, of our involvement in the wars around the world. So more veterans are coming home. They're coming through San Diego and Washington and through the East Coast as well, and they're looking for work. So there's two things they can do. They can either be an employer or an employee. So that's their choice. So if they want to contact us through Eve, that's what Eve does. And the rest of her team is to help these people, direct them toward getting additional help with their education if that need be, or to direct them to finish up some educational benefits that they can get before they're discharged, and get them ready so that when they are discharged, they can come to us squeaky clean and ready to put into the work field.
Yeah.
Eve's done a wonderful job on the show all these months in helping the businesses out there who are listening understand the value and the extraordinary skill and talent and drive that the veterans bring to the employment situation. But I'd like to hear your perspective on that. Tell the business owners who are listening why they should hire a veteran.
Veterans have the skills that I've seen that were not there when I was in the military, to the degree that it's a new world out there. When we're looking at all of the machinery that goes on. Before, we would be looking at a target to try to aim a gun at or whatever, and we would use our eyes, bare eyes, for being able to look at that enemy target. Today, they're using computers, and you can blow this up to whatever degree you want to on the Navy aboard ship, the Marine Corps on the ground, the Air Force in the air, the planes that they use nowadays that are being transformed every 2 years. They're being transformed, and the ships they're using, they're being transformed into much more complicated fighting machines. That translates over into our world here, and being able to use those same skills and learning to be able to translate that into a work skill is really phenomenal to me.
Great.
Yeah, and the VA will even help employers with further training in IT now.
That's true.
Yes, and the government will help the employers with tax credits to hire veterans, when qualified. So I think it's all a great story. So we are running short on time. Tell our listeners how they find out more about Amerit Solutions and anything else in your company. We're turning it over to the boss.
My right-hand person in all of this, first of all, starts with Michael Larkins. He's the leader of our staffing here in San Diego and in San Ramon. But our right arm in this is Eve Nasby here with us today. She's our vice president.
Oh,
of
thank
sales.
you.
So I'm going to let her tell you how you can get in touch with her.
All right, 619-244-3000. If you are a company listening today and you have any position open in your organization, I don't care what it is, warehouse, production, the CFO, you call me, 619-244-3000. We can find an amazing veteran for you. You can also jump on our website at www.thebrave.us for more information.
Great. Hey, Gary, Eve, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Always fun. Always fun mixing topics up and bringing things with urban and disabled vets and everybody together. So I appreciate you being here. This is Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ, streaming live at AM1170theanswer.com. Send us a tweet at CloseUpSD or just find our page on Facebook. You can always email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com. Let me know what you think. I'm your host, Barry Waxler. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.